Pakistan's caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar has said that Saudi Arabia will invest up to $25 billion in Pakistan over the next 2 to 5 years in various sectors. Speaking to journalists at his official residence, PM Kakar said Saudi Arabia's investment would come in the mining, agriculture and information technology sectors as part of a push to increase foreign direct investment in Pakistan. The Premier also said his government would push to complete 2 privatization deals, probably for state-run power sector entities, in the next 6 months, and would also look to privatize another government-owned enterprise outside the energy sector. In a meeting with the Public-Private Partnership Authority, PM Kakar said that promoting public-private partnership in the country could curtail government expenditures and improve performance of the projects. Moreover, while chairing another meeting earlier today, he called for immediate action against those involved in power theft in the country and asked the relevant authorities to submit reports in this regard on a daily basis. He also directed to take effective measures to reduce line losses of the power distribution companies. UN experts have condemned the Indian government's slow and inadequate response to reported serious rights violations, including sexual violence, amid deadly ethnic clashes in the country's remote northeast. The nearly 20 independent United Nations rights experts, including the special rapporteurs on violence against women and girls and on torture, responded to the abuses reported since clashes broke out in Manipur in May. They said that reports indicated that by mid-August, around 160 people were killed and 300 others injured in the violence, also pointing to tens of thousands of people displaced, thousands of homes and hundreds of churches burnt down and farmland destroyed. In particular, the experts said they were appalled by the reports and images of gender-based violence targeting hundreds of women and girls of all ages and predominantly of the Kuki ethnic minority. The experts, who are appointed by the UN Human Rights Council but who do not speak on behalf of the United Nations, said they were especially concerned that the violence seems to have been preceded and incited by hateful and inflammatory speech. The UN experts called on the Indian government to step up relief efforts to those affected and to take robust and timely action to investigate acts of violence. They stressed the need to hold perpetrators to account, including public officials who may have aided and abetted the incitement of racial and religious hatred and violence. Turkish President Erdogan has said after talks with Russia's President Putin in a face-to-face meeting in the Black Sea resort of Sochi on Monday that it would soon be possible to revive the grain deal that the United Nations says helped to ease a food crisis by getting Ukrainian grain to the market. Putin says Russia could return to the grain deal if the West fulfills a separate memorandum agreed with the United Nations at the same time to facilitate Russian food and fertilizer exports to reach global markets. While Russian exports of food and fertilizer are not subject to Western sanctions imposed after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Moscow has said restrictions on payments, logistics and insurance have hindered shipments. One of Moscow's main demands is for the Russian Agricultural Bank to be reconnected to the SWIFT international payments system. The EU cut it off in June 2022 as part of sweeping sanctions imposed in response to the invasion. The Russian president also said that Russia was close to a deal with 6 African countries over a plan to supply Burkina Faso, Zimbabwe, Mali, Somalia, the Central African Republic and Eritrea with up to 50,000 tons of grain each, free of charge. The lead US diplomat for South and Central Asian affairs, Elizabeth Horst, has said that Pakistani institutions need to work through the electoral process in consultation with the political parties to ensure fair and free elections. Speaking to DawnNews, she expressed that the US feels very strongly that Pakistan's future leadership is for the Pakistani people to decide, that the Pakistani people deserve their day at the polls, and that Pakistani institutions need to work through that process in consultation with the political parties. She added that the US wants to see the electoral process advance in a way that facilitates broad participation with respect for freedom of expression, assembly and association. Responding to the perception that the US brought down PTI chairman Imran Khan and wants to keep him out of power, the diplomat said the US is surprised to see Pakistani media continue to report false narratives that were plainly untrue. She asserted that we do not support any one candidate or party over any other, and we will work to further strengthen the US-Pakistan partnership with whomever the people of Pakistan choose. Pakistan President Dr. Arif Alvi has discussed matters pertaining to elections with caretaker Law Minister Ahmad Irfan Aslam and stressed the need to make decisions in accordance with the spirit of the Constitution. According to a statement issued by the Presidency, the Interim Minister called on the President at the President House in Islamabad, where Alvi emphasized the need for upholding the supremacy of the Constitution. The meeting takes place as the President, Election Commission of Pakistan, political parties and other stakeholders take differing stances on the time frame for holding general elections and who has the authority to decide the final poll date. The President sought the Law Ministry's advice on the matter, and the Ministry communicated to the President that the powers to announce the poll date rested with the ECP.